short day.
What ultimately earned Zach Benson a roster spot as an 18-year-old?
He's been good from day one at camp. As I mentioned, if he wasn't good and proficient without the puck and positioning and play, he wouldn't have even been on the opening day roster. And then he shows attributes with a real capacity to grow game by game. He's continued to add things to his game because he's an intelligent player.
What have you thought about the competitiveness he's shown, not only in puck battles, but he's not afraid to chirp an experienced NHL guy and try to get under his skin?
Yeah, he's a feisty guy. You just look at him going to the net front, and he's wins net front position. He positions himself very well. I think at game one, where Jacob Trouba, pounded him from behind by the penalty box, and he fell directly on the puck to make sure the puck didn't go anywhere, and it didn't go anywhere. Most guys would not have the presence of mind to say, okay, you might knock me over, but you're not getting the puck as well. And so he's very intuitive and intelligent in that respect, to add to the feistiness and compete that he does have at a very high level in those regards. So he's been better and better each day.
How easy did he make the decision with the way he played on the road trip?
I think I mentioned the other day it's not an easy decision. It's a challenging decision because you're trying to predict the future. But he kept himself in that position from day one. He was consistent and consistently effective from day one. So in that respect, yes, very easy decision that that he's earned the right to be here. You can't forecast the future, and you've got a young guy in his first. He's going to go through ups and downs. Owen did that. Jack Quinn did that, and these are two guys that are really elite hockey players now. And Zach will probably go through ups and downs, but he's shown the attributes that the down times can be shortened through his high compete, through his intelligence and awareness, self-awareness, situational awareness. We feel that even in times of the downs that every player in the NHL has, he has components that can get himself back up quicker. So in that respect, there's comfort in him moving forward.
What type of stuff will you be looking at as you go throughout the season and determine, whether he'll stick around the entire year? Like, what type of stuff will you be monitoring in that regard?
I mean, it's too far to even think it. For me, he's very, the attributes that he has and he's shown for, we're into November now, September, October, and this month. I mean, that's a long time of consistency. There hasn't been many down moments. I mean, he had an injury that he had to deal with, and he dealt with that, played through it, and was pretty good, and came back and it was like he had missed a beat. Better, he was actually better, so he absorbed stuff while he was out. He projects well. He's got those attributes. The wear and tear of an NHL season on anybody is tough to project. If you've been in the league for 10 years, it's tough to project it. So, but it's still day to day, and as with a young guy, but he's fit in chemistry wise with just about anybody he's played with, and that's the barometer is shown that he has a high level of hockey sense because he can fit in with anybody that he's played with.
Cousins just told me he's extremely excited. He doesn't have to wear that cage anymore or that shield. Is that on the ice, though? Is that going to just open up his game and out for him now that he's in a good frame of mind and that thing's gone?
Certainly should. Yeah, it should. I mean, Dylan is a high compete guy and plays with a lot of energy. Sometimes, his challenge is to control his own energy because he goes and goes and goes. But yes, that getting that out, that obstruction out of his way, it will certainly be a relief to him. And I think he got better and better every day with it, even though it was handicapping him all the way through. But it should be it should make a significant difference for him.
Do you expect to go 11-7 again?
expect it, but we don't have full feedback on. It might be out of necessity. If it is today, if we go 7 today, it's going to be out of necessity. Obviously, meaning roster spots, and we're not fully healthy up front. We would have to go to that based on. So the answer to the question is we don't know yet. It'll be based on full health. If we're full health, I don't plan on going 7D.
What's the key to helping to drive the offense when you're going with an 11-7 lineup as opposed to maybe a 12-6?
Well, you can get, obviously, if you just look at the minutes played, Tuck high minutes, Peterka has had some, I think, probably career high minutes. I don't really know, but he's played a lot. You double shift guys that, are difference makers and from the scoring standpoint, and that gives you much greater opportunity to do that. And those guys get in much more of a rhythm. So, there is an advantage to 11 with respect to you can play your top guys or guys that are going that night more. And that's lots of teams. Tampa Bay Lightning thrived on that and used that quite often to their advantage. So, there is a definite opportunity at advantage at having fewer forwards.
Now that you've had a little time to look at the tape, Benson's goal has gone a little viral over Thanksgiving. I guess, what did you think of, obviously, his net front presence, but the ability to drive and keep that skill down low?
Yeah, I'm not aware of the social media stuff, but he, he's skilled, and it did. You're right, Rachel. It showed how calm and comfortable he is in that situation like that, just stress-free. He had that goalie just won a Stanley Cup 2 years ago. He had him down and out, and he manipulated him and created the goal for himself. The play he made, 2 plays he made just before that, I thought were significant. Went from one side of the rink to the other side of the rink positionally, forced the turnover by the first positioning, then the second positioning, which is high end. Trust me, that's high end when you're positioned around the rink like that to force the turnover, and then it's obviously wide open. And those are the things he does really well. It's you don't notice all the time, or you wouldn't notice at all actually, how he's forcing people into peculiar positions. And obviously the other night the skill showed that he can take advantage of that.
Don, the last time you played Pittsburgh, Malkin was just all over the place. I mean, Malkin and Crosby are 37 and 36 and still playing at that level. When you saw in Chicago as Kane and Taves got a little older, they maintained their level a long time. But what's it like seeing guys 37 and 36 playing the way these two are?
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable job by those two. They're very, very competitive people, and it's hard to hold those guys down and hold those guys back. Obviously we talk about Zack Benson and a young guy, and everybody worries. The concern might be wear and tear on a season. It's wear and tear on the older guys as well, and they are off to an incredible start, and it's a grind. It'll be a grind for everybody. But those are guys that their compete level drives them through that, and it has to this point in their career. They wouldn't be around at that age if they weren't ultra competitive.